Okay. When the British fought the French for North America in the 7 Years' War, the Indians fought on the side of the French. The French were traders but not occupiers of Indian lands, while the British clearly coveted their hunting grounds and living space. We're going to go down here. The Indians therefore united to make a war on the British Western forts. This is called Pontiac's Conspiracy by the British, but a liberation war for independence in the words used by Francis Jennings. Going down. The British could not destroy the will of the Indians, who continued guerrilla war. A peace was made with the British agreeing to establish a line at the Appalachians beyond which settlements would not encroach on Indian territory. This was the Royal Proclamation of 1763. And it angered Americans. The original Virginia Charter said its land went westward to the ocean. Remember, the Indians were talking to the British, but now the Americans wanted the land that the British said they would never encroach in. The Americans, okay, then it says here, it helps explain why most of the Indians fought for England during the Revolution. With their French allies, then their English allies gone, the Indians faced a new land-coveting nation alone, aka America. Now they had to deal with the colonialists who didn't care about what treaties, what contracts, what they had with the British. The Americans assumed now that the Indian land was theirs, but the expeditions they sent westward to establish this were overcome, which they recognized in the names they gave these battles: Harmar's humiliation and St. Clair's shame. And even when General Anthony Wayne defeated the Indians' Western Confederation in 1798 at the Battle of Fallen Timbers, he had to recognize their power. In the Treaty of Grenville, it was agreed that in return for certain cessions of land, the United States would give up claims to the Indian lands north of the Ohio, east of the Mississippi, and south of the Great Lakes, but that if the Indians decided to sell these lands, they would offer them first to the United States. Jennings put the Indian into the center of the American Revolution. After all, it was the Indian land that everyone was fighting over. Sees the revolution as a multiplicity of variously oppressed and exploited peoples who preyed upon each other, with the Eastern elite controlling the lands on the seaboard. The poor, seeking land, were forced to go west, there becoming a useful bulwark for the rich, because, as Jennings says, the first target of the Indians' hatchet was from the frontiersman's skull. So the poor were going west, and that's where the Indians didn't want them to go. But for the rich, they wanted that land anyway, but they appreciated the fact that the poor people were the ones getting killed first.